Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a universal mystery that has probably driven you absolutely crazy at some point. If you've picked up a paddle anytime in the last couple of years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're talking about the deeply frustrating shared experience of perpetually full pickleball courts. Look, I want you to picture the scene. It's exactly 5:45 p.m., you just got off work, grabbed your gear, and you roll up to your local public courts for a 6 p.m. open play slot. You're pumped. You're ready to get some games in. But as you walk up, you see it, the standoff. People are lined up against the fence, arms crossed, just staring down the folks currently playing. And you really have to ask yourself, why is it always like this? Do we actually know the root cause of all this gridlock? There's a quote from our source material that just hits the nail on the head. It validates that collective frustration so perfectly. Quote, "You show up at 5:45 for a 6 o'clock open play slot. Every court is full. Not one open, full, full. Right? We're talking about a paddle stack that is 12 deep at the good courts. We're talking about a line of people aimlessly scrolling on their phones, doing their absolute best to pretend they're not completely annoyed. And inevitably, someone in that line sighs and says, well, the sport is just too popular now." Okay, but let's dive into that for a second. Because that simple math equation, the idea that more players just naturally equals no courts, is kind of a myth. Or at the very least, it's radically incomplete. What you think is the whole story, just pure popularity and a boom in players, is only scratching the surface. The real reason? It's actually a massive management failure. The bigger, much less comfortable truth is that your court time is actively being lost to app hoarding, broken rotation rules, and frankly just bad management. The courts aren't just overcrowded, folks. They're mismanaged. Section 1. Inheriting Tennis Court Chaos, a 1990s system for a 2020s sport. So where did everything start to go wrong? Well, think about it. Most of the courts we play on today were never actually built for pickleball. They're retrofitted tennis courts or multi-use spaces with new stripes painted on. When Parks Department suddenly had to accommodate this massive wave of new pickleball players, they kind of just dusted off their old 1990s sign-up sheets and systems designed for tennis. But tennis has a long, slow turnover. Matches run long, courts are booked in these fixed 1 or 2 hour blocks. Pickleball, on the other hand, is rapid fire. A single court can cycle through way more players per hour. But because we're forcing an old system onto a new sport, we are quietly wasting so much existing capacity. Section 2. The Court Hogging Ecosystem, Uncovering the Culprits. Let's break down exactly where all your court time is going. It's really an ecosystem of artificial scarcity. First, you've got the permanent residents playing ghost games, holding courts for friends who are allegedly on their way for 2 hours. Then there's the round-robin loophole, that dreaded winners-stay-on rule where one dominant group essentially holds a court hostage while intermediate players just wait forever. And let's not forget the clinic monopolies, where public spaces are suddenly cordoned off for all-day private lessons. And our technology is actually making this worse. Enter the booking sniper. Many cities adopted court reservation apps to bring order to the chaos. Great intention, terrible execution. Because unmoderated apps just reward obsessive behavior. A few highly organized, highly online players can book out entire weeks of primetime slots the literal second a booking window opens. They completely dominate access, and if their plans change, well, they cancel way too late for anyone else to grab the slot. Then, of course, we have the offline version. Court squatting. This is a massive etiquette problem. Soft squatting happens when people occupy a court but aren't actually playing. They take these incredibly long water breaks, they check their phones, or they stand there coaching each other between every single point, while a line of 6 people just watches them for 45 minutes. Without a posted clock, a whistle, or someone willing to be the bad guy and call time, these dominant players are literally holding public courts hostage. Which brings us to Section 3, the peak hour illusion. It's about when, not just how many. You see, the shortage feels so much worse than it actually is because of when we all try to play. Look at these hidden bottlenecks. You've got the brutal 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. weeknight clustering, which makes sense. That's when everyone gets off work. Then you have seasonal migration, where snowbirds can literally double a town's population in January. You also have hidden inventory, courts locked behind HOAs and private clubs that don't count toward the public supply. Add in undocumented coaching blocks eating up peak hours, and it's a mess. The wildest part, those exact same courts that are an absolute war zone at 6 p.m. are usually sitting completely empty at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Just listen to this quote from a frustrated club member in our source text. "I did the math one month and realized the same 4 names were on our club's Tuesday and Thursday 6 p.m. slot literally every single week. And it wasn't because they earned it. It's because they had the app open at exactly 7 a.m. 3 days before. It's absolutely maddening, and it really highlights just how deep these gatekeeping issues go. Section 4. Why can't we just build more courts? The supply dilemma. Now you might be wondering, why don't we just pour more concrete? Well, this number is stark. 12 to 36. That is the number of months it takes for a new court to go from a simple proposal to actually being playable. You have to factor in municipal budgeting, permitting timelines, slow community input processes, and those incredibly fraught political battles over converting old tennis courts. The harsh reality is that a 12 to 36-month wait for construction is just simply too slow to fix your 6 p.m. queue today. If the only solution is waiting for your city council to approve funding for 6 new courts by 2029, you are gonna be stuck in that 5:45 p.m. standoff for years. This is exactly why we absolutely have to focus on fixing the management system first. We can reclaim capacity right now without a single new drop of concrete being poured. Section 5. Fixing the court crisis. What smart cities are doing. The good news, smart parks departments are already taking exact sequential steps to stop the bleeding. Step 1, track actual usage data, so decisions aren't just based on who yells the loudest at a town hall meeting. Step 2, enforce visible time limits. Honestly, just putting a large, highly visible clock on the fence dramatically improves turnover. Step 3, implement tiered booking caps, limit reservations per player per week, and penalize no-shows so those snipers can't hoard the time. And finally, step 4, execute phased tennis conversions, using dual-striped courts to reduce that zero-sum turf war. All right, but what can you do to get more court time this season? You actually have a lot of power here. First off, shift to off-peak hours whenever your schedule allows it. Second, join leagues or clubs that guarantee your time slot. Third, and this is a big one, politely but firmly enforce posted time limits yourself when there's no attendant around. Somebody has to do it. Fourth, don't just fume silently at reservation hoarders. Flag that behavior to the administrators. And finally, be vocal at local public meetings and advocate for dual-use courts. You can navigate this system. So I leave you with this final thought. Next time you roll up and the court is full at 6 p.m., are you just going to wait in silence, cursing the popularity of the sport? Or will you be an empowered systems thinker who recognizes a management failure and actually takes action to fix it? The true shortage isn't concrete, my friends, it's efficiency. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I will see you on the courts.